So I got this new box of markers. They're acrylic markers, and these things are supposed to be magical and amazing. Everyone's raving about them. And ARRTX, the company that makes these, has some pretty bold claims. They say the ink never skips. They say you can blend them pretty much like paint while it's still wet on the page. You can layer light colors right over dark ones and just fix your colors whenever you feel like it, even change the whole thing around. This stuff is supposed to paint on crazy surfaces too, like glass, leather, canvas, and a couple of others. Pretty much any surface imaginable. Now, some of these things I obviously expect from a box of markers, but some wild claims need to be put to the test for me to believe them. Now, I rarely work with acrylic markers. My area of expertise is fantasy and realistic art with mostly colored pencils, sometimes charcoal, pen and ink, and oil paint. When on a rare occasion I do work with markers, I tend to go with alcohol markers, so I'm a complete beginner when it comes to this stuff. Let's see how I will hold up to the test, as well as how the markers will hold up. As always, ARRTX packaging is delicious and adorable. You can hand this to somebody on their birthday and not even need wrapping paper. Inside we have 4 stacks of equally adorable markers, 60 in total. Now my ARRTX alcohol marker set is 90, but I'm not threatened by the lower number since you're supposed to be able to pretty much make your own colors like with paint. And indeed, we have a beautiful range of yellows, greens, oranges, pinks, blues, and purples, as well as standalone white and black. And of course, the link to this marker box is in the video description. First, I want to test this blendability and color saturation claim, so let's just freehand a basic chunk of rock. No, not a boring old gray rock, a crystal. How about something with purple, maybe blue, green? We can throw some pink in there, kind of one of those rainbow crystals. Maybe we'll even introduce a little galaxy effect or throw in some stars. This is something that anyone can do right now, no drawing experience required. It doesn't matter what shape your crystal is, it doesn't matter if the facets match mine, just freehand something rough like this and start painting. And I have a coloring page gift for you as well, as always, but it's a little bit more advanced, so I will demo that later on in the show, but you can grab the download now. So far, I can't complain. The colors are bright and vivid and as advertised. The color just keeps coming out. The only thing is you gotta remember to shake the marker before starting to use it. Shake it thoroughly, like a spray paint can. I'm getting no clumping here, no bleeding, there's no skipping, and that matters way more than people realize. Because when your marker is unpredictable, you never know if the problem is you or the tool. We definitely don't want that. We want to be in complete control. The 6mm nib on this is kinda like a brush marker, but a little bit firmer. It's cool because I can lay it flat on its side and cover broader areas of my crystal facets, or I can use the very tip for finer precision work. And that is super cool. Lots of markers have 2 sides to them, the white side and the finer tip side, and you gotta flip the thing around the whole time while keeping track of those 2 caps that are so promiscuous. And it's not that big of a deal, but having 2 tools in one certainly speeds things up. As far as paper goes, I'm working on 60-pound white cardstock. And this paper absorbs like crazy, so I've got to move relatively fast while it's wet if I want to blend nicely. And that cuts both ways too. Want a hard edge instead? Wait a few seconds and let it set. So on this one, I'm just grabbing colors at random, whatever catches my eyes. I kind of pre-selected a handful, but it's a free-for-all. I'm mixing them right there and then on paper, happy little gradients all over. While one color is still wet, I come in with a lighter one and create a gradient. This takes a bit of getting used to, but I feel like I'm getting a hang of it pretty fast. Now, here's something that's important to remember about acrylic markers. You want to store them flat, laying down, not standing up in a jar or a cup, because acrylic ink is heavy and it settles. And this is why the box is designed this way. If, like me, you want to add a few white dots here and there for that star effect, make sure that everything is completely dry so that the dots are crisp and clean. And ta-da! That's pretty freaking cute, and it only took a couple of minutes. This is something you can try freehand with these markers right now. Now, here's how gradients actually work with these nibs. Grab a color combo that you like. I'm going for oranges and yellows, starting with your darker color, and you can go either way. I just prefer to go from darker to lighter for gradients. But starting with one color, just begin stacking them and blending every time you introduce a new pigment. I'm doing this little test on regular old printer paper, just to really push the markers even further. Now, ARRTX did promise no bleed through, so let's see what that looks like. Indeed, there isn't any color on the other side of this crappy paper. This no bleed through thing is fantastic news for anyone who works in coloring books and journals, because now we can paint freely anywhere and not worry about ruining what's on the flip side. What about all those other crazy surfaces? I have a few really twisted ones prepared for you, but I'm going to make you wait, because first I have something special and sparkling for you. An entire box of gemstones as colorful as they can get, or at least that's what we're going to try to paint here. This page that I call Eye Candy is my gift to you. Just scan this QR code or click the link below for your free download. Whether you decide to do this in acrylic markers or colored pencils or watercolor paint, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a fun little page no matter what. And I'm back on thick white cardstock for this. Starting with my reddish, pinkish gemstone, I'm actually finding that I'm suddenly more timid than I was on a large crystal surface. I'm falling back into my colored pencil habit of overworking the details with the fine tips rather than painting like with a brush. So I feel like I spend too much time on this gemstone and it's starting to look a little overworked. But I loosened up a bit while working on the lavender surface of the box itself, and I actually really like how that's turning out. By the time I got to the citrine, I was definitely getting my confidence back, working out actual outlines by using my darker markers first, and then painting around them to create really thin lines. I created many beautiful gradient transitions with my yellow and orange, and I had a blast adding pure white highlights in the end. The ribbon was also smooth sailing. It's all silky gradient transitions, delicious. Halfway through the blue gemstone though, I decided to start all over. Mainly because my new dog Miller distracted me and I forgot to hit record. There's Miller, everyone. He is our new family member. We got him from the shelter on Saturday, and he's still adjusting, but he's the sweetest boy in the whole world. And now, knowing what I know from the previous experiment, I printed this page again with slightly thicker outline so that I don't have to be so precise with my own. And that's the version you're getting in the download. Much happier this time around. It's still completely outside of my comfort zone though. Not because of the markers, because of the style that I selected to represent them. It's cute, anime-like, bright and colorful, super adorable and innocent. I love gemstones, but I prefer to render them realistically and with colored pencils. In fact, I teach an entire course called The Complete Guide to Coloring Gemstones in the Academy, and it's one of my lengthier masterclasses. That title is no joke either. It is indeed The Complete Guide to Coloring Gemstones. So swing by if you like the subject and check it out. I'll drop a link in the video description. Now, even though it's all cute and adorable and innocent and a little too girly for my taste, I'm still having a ton of fun with this. I'm loving how fast these effects come to be, and I'm also finding this way of painting a little dangerous. It's hard to stop because I can keep editing forever. Layer after layer after layer, I can literally turn this red gem green right now. I can turn the yellow one blue, recolor every single stone in the box on top of my finished work. None of this is cast in stone. For someone like me who's comfortable drawing in any medium and willing to experiment, this is indeed a start of a rabbit hole. With colored pencils, you know exactly when your piece is finished. Here you can literally keep piling pigment on top of pigment until the cows come home. Danger, danger! On the flip side, for someone who's not very confident with artwork yet, a beginner who's just starting to draw, color, or paint, this is a very safe way to practice because you literally cannot make a mistake. You can change and adjust colors at no cost. No muddying, no distortion, no discoloration, no weird undertones, no flimsy textures. It's kind of amazing. And since I cross over my outer lines constantly, I just cut the whole thing out and there it is. Super cute card. Since this was a more involved project than our original crystal, it actually took close to 2 hours. And throughout all that, I never got a hand cramp. Something that's a very common problem with colored pencils. These are, of course, much thicker than colored pencils, and they have a nice weight to them too. Not too heavy, not too light. You're generally, not even aware of having them in your hand. It's like you're painting with your mind. And look at the clarity in those colors. I went all out using every single marker in the box, almost every single marker in the box, for science, of course. And nothing went chalky, nothing dried 3 shades duller than what I expected. There's no weird gray undertone, no colors peeking through from underneath. Gemstones, they're all about color saturation and color purity. And I think these came out pretty darn good. I did not have the nerves to add black though, which is funny because I'm usually the first one to tell you to not fear black when working with gemstones and crystals, but this little painting style, it just didn't call for it. I think it would have been overkill. Now let's see how the paper held up after all this. Now, it is thicker paper than what I tested before, but I did layer a ton more color on this without any regard for paper safety. But before I flip it over, remember this one? A few weeks ago, I did another ARRTX marker set review, and those were alcohol markers. And while I was really impressed with the fact that alcohol markers didn't damage or warp the page in any way, there was still pretty significant bleed through. I mean, you can basically see the entire picture. But look at this, not a single mark. Very impressive. The other real difference is layering. With alcohol, you can't put lighter colors over dark ones, so your planning is a little bit different. The blending window is also much smaller, so you really rely on brush strokes, which is why I made this stained glass design with them to begin with. And knowing what's going to end up being lighter in the end is a big part of the process. Because once you paint in those dark blocks, there's no going back unless you bring in something totally different, like these acrylic markers. Both results are beautiful. It's the approach that's different. So think about which ones suit you better. Neither one is right or wrong. But our test isn't over yet. Remember I promised you some strange and unusual and truly challenging surfaces? Let's start with wood. Here's a little piece of wood I found laying around my studio, and I still plan to paint something pretty on the front of it, so I'll do my testing on the back. This is unprimed wood, and wood is unforgiving. It sucks up pigment like a sponge, and that means we have a very tiny window to work in for our blending. I've done acrylic paintings on wood many times in the past, and every time I decided to cut corners and not add a primer, I always regretted it because my colors immediately got sucked into the wood, they got dull, and for the life of me I could not get a pure white pigment. But that's not the case here. This is actually super impressive. I did have to move a little faster than on paper, but it wasn't anything extraordinary or difficult. I had plenty of time to blend, and the result is just so vibrant and clean. I am genuinely impressed. Okay, the wood is a big pass. Now, how about metal? I found this metal tin with pencils, and it feels like it's also lacquered with something. It's super shiny and slippery and reflective and glossy, and I have no faith in this working at all. If it works, it would be a miracle. And indeed, at first, it's a struggle. You can see me mushing the pigment around like soup on a plate, and still you can see the lettering through it. The problem is the exact opposite from what I had on wood, because here, nothing is being absorbed. Yet, after just 2 minutes, it dried completely, and I can even run my fingers over it. It's insane! I did not believe this would work, at all. Now, this was challenging and somewhat stressful and unpleasant, so maybe don't draw on pencil tins, but it is possible, and that says a lot about the brand and the product. So, let's call it. Flow? Flawless. Blending? Very friendly. Layering light over dark? Amazing. Can't complain. True color with no grade cast? Absolutely. Unusual surfaces? Holy cow, yes. And the lack of bleed through? Simply wow. So if you've never touched an acrylic marker before, start exactly where I started. Cardstock, one simple object like a crystal, practice a couple of times, and then move on to something like my eye candy page, which I gifted you earlier in this video. And go easy on yourself on the first try. My first attempt wasn't that great either. The second one is a huge improvement though. And that's how it works when you're learning anything new. Cut yourself some slack. And if you want to see how these markers stack up against the alcohol set, that review is coming up next. I'll see you there.